Hello, everybody. It is great to be here one more time today. And my name is Gary Fowler, and I'm the CEO, president, and founder of GSD Get Shit Done Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in the heart of Silicon Valley. I'm a 17-time serial entrepreneur with several unicorns under the belt. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also the co-founder of Eva.ai, an AI company that dealt in remote workforce management. We believe that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities are not. Today, I have an incredible guest from TV to Glam and Go to Prospr at work. I mean, all kinds of different things. So Erika Wasser is transforming how companies manage, engage, and connect their frontline employees in one easy-to-use mobile app. Businesses use Prospr to boost employee engagement, satisfaction, and productivity while reducing costs, compliance, risks, and liabilities. She's got incredible customers like Skincare, Heyday Skincare, Dunkin', Centerplate, 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We got to talk about that and many more. So with that, I'd like to bring Erika on board. Hi, Erika. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
So I have a question for you. How was it to meet Liza Minnelli?
Okay, it was somewhat surreal, and I'm the biggest weirdo Broadway fan, and so I've met a lot of really cool people in my day. There's only two people I've ever truly been starstruck by. The first was Bloomberg when he was the mayor, because I thought he was a great mayor of New York. The second was Liza Minnelli, and so I show up at this party, and it's like a private party of like 30 people, and I'm like, oh my god, that's Liza. And my mom, who I was with, was like, okay, and I was like, no, I don't think you understand. Like, that's Liza Minnelli. And so she's like, all right, well then go ask for a photo if you want a photo. I go, and I'm so nervous, and I ask her this photo, and she's so gracious. And someone takes this photo, and Gary, I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever looked worse in a photo in my entire life. Right? So I get this photo of me and Liza Minnelli that is truly one of. I looked like something was genetically wrong. And I go, I can't
You look
possibly.
great. I saw the picture. No,
Oh,
look.
no. You saw the third picture.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right? So now I'm like free. Now I'm very upset because I met this person that I idolize and I can't use this photo. And so I had to basically stalk Liza Minnelli around this woman's apartment until I could find a time to ask her for a second photo.
And how was she to deal with?
She was very funny. So we take the second one and she goes, well, let's check this one. And so she looks at the second photo and we go, okay, well, maybe we need three photos because she didn't like the second photo. And then after the third, she's holding my hand. She just looks at me. She goes, enough already.
Really? There you go. But you had your experience. So how do you go from that? So you went to Boston University, Erica, right? What did you
Yep.
study at Boston?
I studied broadcast journalism.
So how did you go from that? You did host of Spaces TV,
Yeah.
right? And how did you get to that? Where did it come up one day? Oh, I'm going to host this show and it's going to be interesting. What happened?
Yeah. So I was performing, I was doing stand up out of college and I was at Gotham Comedy Club. And the vice president of programming for the digital broadcasting group was in the audience, liked some of my material, found me on Facebook, the old school way, and said, hey, we'd like to work with you. And at that time, Google had just bought YouTube and they were trying to flood the uh, producer marketplace with money to put television quality content on the web. It was really like the birth of digital in many respects, not just in the home and design vertical, but in all verticals. And the vertical that the digital broadcasting group ended up winning the bid for was home and design. And so Bradley Warner and I, who was then the VP of DGB, sat down over tacos and margaritas on 47th Street and sat there for an entire day until we had a full idea for what this channel was going to be and what the program lineup was going to be and who was on YouTube and what kinds of shows and content could make it in that platform. And so together we came up with shows like I Live with My Mom, because at that time it was 2011. a lot of kids were coming home from college, moving back into their childhood bedrooms that still looked like their childhood bedrooms. So we found, right? So that was a show where we would go and renovate kids' 13-year-old bedrooms for their 23-year-old selves. Your place is a deal breaker, where two people are moving in together for the first time and really navigating relationships through the lens of home and design. Can I Come In, which they then ultimately took with me to HGTV Digital and started hosting there. And so it was really more just a very lucky moment, and actually a terrible joke that he liked.
Well, that's, so how did it feel? Now, did it make you famous? Did people walk down the street and say, "Oh, I know you, I want to get your autograph"?
No.
No?
I'm pretty sure the only autographs people want from me are to sign checks.
Ah, I see. Okay. So then were you a stand-up comedian before you did that or after you did that?
Before. So I started doing stand-up my senior year of college.
And what made you decide to do that?
Childhood trauma.
Yeah? Childhood trauma because
I'm mostly kidding.
I was listening to what you were saying. It was quite interesting. I saw the one show where you're talking about the guy that you went to the high school prom with. You didn't get invited to a wedding for last year, right? It was interesting.
Yeah, it was a joke about gay marriage, and gay marriage had just been legalized at the time when I wrote this joke. And, a running joke amongst my friends and family is that, if there's a gay man within 500 yards, I'll find him. Or he'll find me, one of the two.
You said you went to the prom with the guy, right?
Yeah, so the joke was essentially, gay marriage had been passed for the better part of 6 months, and I was perturbed because I had not been invited to a single one gay marriage. And I took you all to prom. Do you remember that?
Yeah, no, I love that. And so when you're going down through and doing it, how do you come up with the material when you're developing something like that? Where does the material come from? Does it come from your own experiences, or does it come through observations, or how do you develop it?
I mean, you have to write what you know, right? Like, there's just no other way to write comedy and be good at it, right? If it's not true, it tends not to be that funny.
Do you have to feel it when you do it, when you write it? Do you have to feel it?
Well, the thing about stand-up, what people don't realize, is that you end up telling the same joke hundreds of times, right? In different orders and in different tonations and with different little words until you get it right or retire it. But like, if you don't like the joke, it will come out of your act pretty quickly because you'll just get so sick and tired of saying it. And then obviously there's some things that have a shorter shelf life that are more topical, but I think the idea of like a 5 to 15 minute set is to sort of put in a capsule like who you are in that moment of time. And so it's got to be true.
So what did you want to do when you started it? Did you have the idea you wanted to be have your own show in Vegas, or what was your dream?
I mean, I would still love my own show in Vegas. Apparently Adele's making like $2 million a night.
And did you want it? Did you want to do that? Is that what you, from the heart? Is that what you want?
Mary, I'm not dead yet. I still can.
There you go. And so do you do stand up now?
I do. So less, I started my first startup right when I had also really started to succeed in comedy. And so I did like the Viacom showcase and the MTV showcase and that kind of stuff. It was fun. And I thought of this business idea that had grown out of my experience in green rooms, getting my hair done. Mm-hmm. And thought, wow, wouldn't it be great to have people who did your hair at the gym? Because, wouldn't it? And overnight, it just really sucked all the air out of the room. And so then my focus went more towards developing business skills that I didn't necessarily have at the time. And that business scaled nationally, and learning the ins and outs of operating businesses and people management challenges are really the underbelly of what was sort of the supporting thesis of why a business like Prospr needed to exist. So one thing for me has always kind of like led to the next. So I like to think that like I'll just keep pulling the threads of life and see where that takes me.
And so, do you like the adventure?
Yeah.
And so, what's the most important thing about the adventure? To stay on track, to be like that. What is the most important?
Keep your eyes open and pay attention, and don't be afraid to change. Right? Like doing a new thing or pivoting isn't failure, it's growth.
Yeah, pivoting isn't failure; it's growth. And what makes you happy? As a comedian, what makes you happy?
I have a really great dog. I have really great friends and family. Rose.
Very good. You're at the pool.
What's funny is I've been displaced from my home today uh, because I, I just moved to California and I moved to a house that was built in 1928. And it turns out that there is no carbon monoxide alarm, and the stove has been emitting carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. I guess like the thing has been
Yeah,
staying hot even when it's off. So
yeah.
I had to move out of my house last night. And so now I'm in a hotel, which is why we're in this situation.
Well, I
Um,
got to tell you, of all I've had one time, Lorenzo Di Medici forgot that he had to do this, and it was on a yacht, and so
he
the
went.
yacht's going up and down, and I'm like,
I mean, we're at the Beverly Hills Hotel. It doesn't suck.
no, no,
But
that's great.
he
I've been
wins.
there a few times. That's great.
So
That
yeah,
is.
so I got kicked out, and then I'm checking out today, which apparently I thought would be after 2, but it's not. And so
I
now
see.
here we are.
And so you got kicked out because of carbon monoxide. So
Yes.
what makes you happy? What's the most important thing in life?
Enjoying it.
How do you enjoy life?
Um, I think the most honest answer that I can give is like staying in competition with only yourself.
And do you
Because
make yourself happy?
I do.
That's good. Well, you seem to have a good attitude. That's for sure.
Like I don't know. If you're on Instagram, right, or you're on social media, honestly, what it looks like, at least to me, is that everybody else is living like your best version of your life but you. And so if you get too sucked into the immediate access of at least what other people are trying to show you about their lives, I think you can become very quick to like think you're not doing well. Um, and then you kind of have to realize like actually that so doesn't matter because you wake up alone, you unfortunately will probably pass alone, and like you have to figure out and navigate that journey in between.
No, I agree with you 100%. I just had before this. I had some hot sauce. You're gonna get a kick. I had some hot sauce. I got it on my
A
finger.
kick out of the hot
I
sauce.
made the stupidest thing. I wiped my eyes and I got hot sauce in my eye, and it is freaking. It
I
is.
did that once with like a wasabi pea. I
Oh
feel
my
your
God,
pain.
it's crazy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I'm crying listening to this. I'm like excited.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
So you're going down through it. You've gone down through. You've done amazing things. You've changed your life. You've redirected. So as you're going down through this journey and you've come up to Prospr, what? So first of all, what happened with Glam and Go? Did you sell it or did you just? Is it what happened to it?
It was truly the world's most expensive sale of all time. I think I'm the only person that can sell a business and lose money.
Mm-hmm. No, you're not the only one, I'm sure, right?
But I did. What happened was sort of twofold. One is that COVID really decimated that business. We were a hairstyling service inside of gyms and hotels. So not only were we an affected industry inside of, affected cities like DC, New York, LA, Miami that had very strict governmental regulations at that time, with the exception of Miami, um, as to what you could do. Uh, we were inside of businesses that didn't open until 6 to 8 months after everything else had opened. And so it kind of was a proposition of, are you willing to start this over?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because that was actually what one would have had to do. And so I kind of just had to have a very honest moment with myself and say no. That my heart wasn't in it and my head wasn't in it, and I was ready to go do something else.
Then that's good that you came up to that conclusion, because some people don't do it and they end up letting it take them down
Yeah,
mentally, right? And the key is you got to pivot. Life's about pivoting and looking for the
correct.
possibilities and the beauty of life. Looking and being happy with yourself. You're right. You go in this world,
Yeah,
and you're not the first one I've ever heard say that, and I feel the same. But you got to be happy with yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am who I am, and I enjoy. If you enjoy being with yourself, and give yourself some challenges, have some fun, do
yeah,
crazy stuff. Enjoy it. And by the way, then other people, the attraction, other people come around because they see you being happy and they want to partake.
yeah. I was very lucky that we had a couple of really strong store leaders and regional leaders where those Glamago salons were. And I was able to gift them essentially the respective businesses in their cities,
Oh, that's fantastic.
not recognizing how much money it was going to cost me to gift these things. But once it came out of my mouth, I had to live by it because that's how you have to live. And, so they still exist. They still go on. Those people are incredible who have built salon businesses that they're so passionate about and they love, that wouldn't have happened otherwise. It just was a moment where like I had to really be honest and say that wasn't my life's work and I needed to go and figure out what was next for me.
And now, what was that journey like, going from that to finding the next opportunity?
I really thought about what I wanted to do next, and there were pieces of the Glam and Go business that I really did not enjoy. Right, I said I knew that I didn't want to do another service business that interacted with customers day in day out in that capacity and certainly in that way. I knew that the next business that I wanted to be a part of was not going to be as human heavy on the front line because just the challenges of that were really sometimes debilitating because you're working so hard to do the right thing by people and it's usually somewhat thankless.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with you. It is thankless. But you're a comedian too, and you had to
Yeah.
deal with people all the time. How was it going from being a comedian to having to deal with people in this serious kind of way? Did you bring the
Well,
comedy into it or not?
no, I mean, listen, being a comedian, you're there for, 15 minutes and someone's paying 2 drinks to see you and there's security if they get out of line. As an employer, it's a completely different ballgame. And, without getting political, like, different states had different rules and some of them I agreed with and some of them I thought were insane. And it's not so, right. Like, I think there's this notion that you know employers should be the end all be all and do everything right all of the time, and I think most try to, right, and I most certainly did, um, but especially in some of the states that we were operating in, it didn't exactly, the different restrictions that were starting to come down the line between wage issues and some of the other ones, and I want everyone to have the best life that they can. It just started to become too restrictive to operate a business, and I was just like, I just don't want to do this anymore, like
No,
this.
that's good. You came to you're not that old to come to the conclusion, and that's the way it is, right? You go down through. So you came up with Prospr at work, and how did that happen? What is that? One day you just woke up and say, "Oh, I've got to do this. Now I know what I'm going to do next," or what was it?
No, I have an incredible partner at Prospr, named Eric, who's not only one of my best friends, but is truly the most brilliant developer of all time. And, he and I were both in a similar place where he had exited a startup. He had helped me a little bit at Glam and Go. I had decided that I was ready to move on. And we really thought about, why did we, right? Like, why am I at a point where like I'm actually so ready to quit a business that I put so much love and heart and money and time into? And we thought, well, if we could make some of those challenges of running operating businesses better, if we could make it easier for employees to succeed, if we could make it easier for employers to stay compliant, if we could have waved a magic wand and not had some of the challenges that we had, you know, might we still have loved parts of that business? Might I have still loved parts of that business? And those were problems that we thought were big enough and interesting enough to try to solve.
No, that's great. And so how is it now? You've been in business since 2019, right?
Yeah.
4 years. How is business?
So we got our first customer in November of 2019. And we thought, oh my God, this is amazing. We have a product, we have a thing. Like in Q1 of 2020, like we're going to hit this thing hard. And instead, we kind of got put on pause for a little while because we are, while a service like Prospr frankly probably would have scaled significantly during the pandemic, as such a young business, we weren't mature enough or able to like really take any of that upswing. And so in 21, we started to scale for real and started actually being able to sell. And our product went from more of an MVP to something that was really somewhat more robust, which is all thanks to Eric. And then we were able to raise a seed round in August of 21 from incredible investors we're so proud to have as partners today. And now we're still, how it goes, that like slow, steady tranche, that first $1 million. That we are very close to turning the corner on from an ARR perspective. And hopefully the rumors are true that 1 to 3 happens fast and 3 to 5 is faster and 5 to 10 is faster than that. But like, the first $1 million is, it's been a slog, but in an incredible way.
It always is though, right? Rarely do you have a situation. And if it was easy, Erica, everybody would do it. Everybody would do it. My partner took a company from zero to they raised $300 million in that company called Stacks. And he recently exited over $1 billion valuation. So amazing. But everybody goes down through it. I mean, I've seen companies that have started out. I remember the beginning of Broad Vision. That company started out and people said it's never going to work. Nobody's going to buy stuff online. This is back in 1997. E-commerce it's not going to happen. Amazon's just for books. And, lo and behold, our lives fundamentally changed. And these shifts take place. And you got to be, as long as you feel it in your heart and soul that it's going to happen, you got to focus on it. Other people, until, it's like funny, until it becomes real, they doubt whether it's going to be real. But once it becomes real, they say, I told you so. I told you that would happen. It's crazy, actually.
So my dad has a saying, which is that success has many fathers and failure has one.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
And so
that's exactly right. Fathers and mothers and everybody else.
Totally. And so we're just putting one foot in front of the other, and like we're learning things all of the time, which is I think has been the most exciting part of this journey. And like I think the big lesson for me is that you're never too old to be learning. And challenging yourself and continuing to expand your mind and how you think, and the things that you can accomplish. And so having that opportunity to keep growing and expanding is just such a gift. And to be able to be the manifester of that destiny is another gift, right? Because, it
Hello?
Hi.
I lost you for a second, Erica. You went.
Oh my God! I said something really brilliant, Gary. I told you the secret to life.
Oh my God! It was like I was waiting, and it was like this. You had your chin up in the air. I'm thinking, like, hello.
I found the fountain of youth, but I can't repeat where it is.
Oh my God!
You missed it.
I was like, no. So you go down through it though. You're right, and you believe in your dreams, and they come true. A lot of it's manifesting it for yourself. And I've seen it myself in all kinds of different ways. If you believe in enough, it does manifest, but you got to focus on it. And I did a TED Talk a few years ago, and I talked about that. You got to visualize where you want to go, and you got to believe in your heart and soul that you can do it. And, I used to not tell people about it. I used to just go down through and do it, because if you if you told them, they would say, "Oh, I don't think, I wouldn't try that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that. It's never going to work." And well, after
Yeah.
the fact, right? Just like your father said, right? There's one person that's at fault, and the other people sharing their success. But the other thing is, it's kind of great to rejoice in their success. Once you do it, they start coming around.
Yeah.
The other thing is, once you have some success, other people want to be part of whatever you do. They want to be part of it. So they come in, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They become your greatest cheerleaders because they feel that they can partake in the next success. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
100%, and like I am a firm believer that life is essentially momentum and perseverance, whichever one comes first.
That's right. You're right. Momentum, perseverance, and tenacity, and believing in those dreams. I mean, you've done incredible things. You moved. Why'd you decide to go to California, by the way?
So, I mean, it's going to be the lamest answer of all time, but a very cute boy.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's great.
It didn't work out, but now I'm in California anyway.
That's great. So, and that makes you happy, right? It's good to be out there. And the weather's not too bad either this time of year.
Exactly.
Super. So, listen, we're coming up to the top of the show. Closing thoughts. And what would you say to other female entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general? What would be your closing thoughts to them, and how do people get a hold of you?
Do what you want unapologetically, so long as you can truly be unapologetic about it.
Do what you want unapologetically, so you can be.
So long as you can actually be unapologetic about it.
I
Right?
see. Okay.
Don't just act with reckless abandon, but trust your stuff, follow your gut, and live in such a way where like you're firm in what you think and why you think it.
That's right. You believe in your dreams; they come true.
Yeah.
Now,
And you can find me on Instagram at World of Wasser.
World of Wasser Instagram. So remember, World of Wasser. Erika's got a lot of insights. She's done incredible things. If you go out and look, there's a lot of videos out there, and you will see some of her comedy shows too. They're quite interesting. Now, I appreciate it, Erika. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me today. It's really appreciated. And congratulations on the new relationship you have. That's great. And congratulations on being in California, because the weather is a lot nicer.
Okay, now you got it. Now you have to come visit.
Absolutely. I'm going out to California as soon as I come from you.
Don't come to my house. There's carbon monoxide everywhere. But
I'll be close. I'll meet you at the pool.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you. And to my audience out there, thank you for joining one more time. GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. And my name is Gary Fowler, and I'm your host. Stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. Get back to you soon. I'll talk to you again shortly. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.